all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, everybody. Thank you for the early contribution. Thank you, Gregory. Says salute. I've been watching your content since the summer of 2021, and the majority of the time you have covered stories like this or close to them. There's always something that comes up eventually. That's pretty much consistent. Thank you. And thank you, Farrell, to help Fugly behind leaving kids unattended, looking like she went 12 rounds bare knuckles with Sonny Liston, but the city give her a new house. They gave her a house. So if you guys remember, about a week or two ago, when all of those stories was breaking about all these mothers, you know, and one of the few that caught everybody's attention was the homeless woman in Detroit. She was homeless. She had her children. She had her mom. She had her siblings. They was all like living in a car or whatever. And two of the children came up deceased. Now, because of the temperatures, because we know how cold it was at that time, it was presumed that those two children passed away from hypothermia. But since the autopsies were performed, it is now saying that according to the results of the autopsy, they died from carbon monoxide poisoning. So for those of you who don't know, carbon monoxide is odorless. It, you know, you can't see it, you can't smell it, but it will take you out. It'll usually in your sleep. Okay. This is why they have carbon monoxide detectors as well as smoke detectors, because there's no other active way to know when carbon monoxide is being released anywhere around you. And it can happen when heating systems are faulty, you know, things of this nature, you know. So it's not like a gas leak per se, because you can smell gas, like you can smell like cooking gas and things of that nature. But with carbon monoxide, you can't detect it unless there is a carbon monoxide detector around, which would go off like a smoke detector. So many people pass away from carbon monoxide poisoning. Typically, when people pass away from carbon monoxide poisoning, they still term that as kind of natural causes. Like they don't determine death by carbon monoxide to be foul play, because it's usually something that people don't know is happening. Okay. Now, with that being said, just giving people a quick summary about what carbon monoxide is and how it takes people out. You know, like I said, usually in people's sleep. Go to sleep, they're breathing it in, and it is a poison to us. Okay. Now, with that being said, there were a bunch of crocodile tears that she was crying, supposedly, because I didn't really see no tears. Let's just be real. The father, people didn't have a real good, people did not have a very good opinion of him either, because of the way he showed up either. So while people were not necessarily blaming him for the most part, they also did not have a very positive opinion about either the father or the mother, because the criticism for her was, why didn't she get like help? A lot of times, depending on where you are, if you're a woman with one or more children, especially if they're small school age children, you usually can get into some type of shelter or some type of housing. That's not 100% the case, but usually. They criticize the father because many people feel like he could have done more to try to figure out what was going on with them, because both of them, both the mother and the father, confirmed that she called him in the midst of this homelessness that she was going through to come and get the kids. He didn't seem necessarily like he wanted to come get them. You know, it seemed like he was like, well, you know, I didn't know that the situation was dire, or I would have got him. Otherwise, you know, I kind of wasn't really worried about getting them. So we surmised that she may not have, it was highly likely that she did not explain to him how dire the situation actually was, so that he can make a move to come and get the children, his children at least, away from her. So she had 4 children, if you recall. We're just recapping it. She had 4 children. 3 of them were by him, 1 by another man, and 2 of his children are passed, and 1 of them did not pass. So not all of his children are gone. And I don't think he got custody of that one either. I think they put them kids with another family member, if I'm not mistaken. So everybody had a lot of critique and blame, you know, mostly for her. Most people did have some kind of critique for him as well. Like I said, in a lot of people's eyes, he didn't seem, you know, how people would assume that he would have been more proactive or more assertive about trying to figure out what happened. Fast forward. Now they're trying to seek a warrant at this point. Detroit police have submitted a warrant request to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office following the deaths of 2 children, ages 2 and 9, who were found unresponsive in a van parked at the Hollywood Casino parking garage in Greektown on February the 10th. So this is like a month ago. The family, including their mother, Tatiana Williams, had been living in the van due to homelessness. When the vehicle ran out of gas, it led to freezing temperatures inside. Initial reports suggested hypothermia as the cause of death, but autopsies later confirmed that it was carbon monoxide poisoning. The prosecutor's office is currently reviewing the warrant request. No charges have been issued at this time. So what this is telling us is that the police department is suspicious. They have not charged her. She hasn't been charged, but because the autopsy came back as something other than hypothermia, which was initially assumed, it's my guess that they want the warrant in order to have legal right to start really investigating and asking a bunch of questions and figuring out what happened. What and why just those 2? If everyone is asleep and there is a carbon monoxide in that same place, most of the people will pass away. Now, there's nothing that guarantees death or life, right? Because a lot of people have survived situations that don't have a good survival rate. And there are people who have passed away in situations where it's like, how did you die doing that? So I'm not here to question why didn't they die. But the police will question it. They want to know, were the children in a separate place? Because now they got to pick apart the story. Now they got to pick apart the timeline of events. Where were they really? At what time? Because the medical examiner's office can determine actual time of death as well as the mode of death. Okay? So it's my guess that the police just want the ability to further investigate more than just asking her a couple of questions and things of that nature. Okay. So it's important to make sure that we're clear. She has not been charged. She's not in trouble yet. She's not in trouble yet. But these are two babies. Now this, I'm not going to turn the sound on because I'm assuming music. But here you can see her with her hair done. Better than it was here, because when they first showed her, let me go back to this picture. People were trying to say that she looked put together. She do not look put together. I didn't understand that aspect of it. She looked homeless. Here in this picture, this is the footage. This is a still photo from the footage that we all saw when the story first broke. She looked homeless. The braids look a few months old. That coat is probably something that she either had or the police department would give you something. So in the Detroit code, a coat like that and a little shirt is not going to keep you warm. So she looked haggard. She looked like she'd been in the street from this. But when you go here, she don't look like she in no street. Now, y'all are saying that the city gave her a house. I'm wondering if this is where this little shindig is taking place, in a house. That your two children are gone. Now, let me say something real quick. Let me be very real. When you lose your child, that is painful. But now, you don't cry necessarily all day, every day either. You be in grief, but you suck it up long enough to take care of business. You suck it up long enough to, you know what I mean? When I lost mine, I was in a deep grief, but I didn't cry every day, all day. It hit you in waves is what it do. You'll be sitting somewhere thinking that you decent, and all of a sudden, boom, it hit you. You will think about them, and you will think about the fact that they're not here, and you can't call them, and you can't see them, and you can't be around them, and you can't hear their voice, and you all of those things, and it be a painful when it hits you upside the head, and you will just bust out crying. Okay? So I'm not here to say that she got to cry every day, all day, because that's not really how grief works anyway. However, these hyenas cannot stop telling on themselves. Because while we do not expect you to be crying and in a fit all day, every day, because that's just not real either, do you have to post yourself dancing and having a good old shindig of a time? Like you gotta post it? You may have gone to some kind of outing but you gotta post it. See, it don't look good. It don't look good. It don't. It look coupled with the findings about the carbon monoxide, and then this video coupled with that, and you now a month after the incident, you're somewhere looking like you ready to get another baby daddy. This is not a good look, y'all. Not a good look. Not a good look. I don't like it. You looking about like you ready to get 2 more kids to replace them with another baby daddy. That's about how you looking right now. Now all of a sudden, you got internet access and somewhere to twerk, but you could not figure out how to get nowhere with internet access, heat, food, shelter, and a place for them babies to lay their head. You couldn't figure that out in how many months that you was homeless in the Detroit cold. You swore to God that nobody wanted to see you, or they didn't want to keep the kids, which that may be true. People don't be wanting folks in their house, but you couldn't figure nothing out. Now you done got it figured out conveniently. Now that you down to 2 kids, this don't look good. This don't look good. This is not a good. I don't like this. I don't like this. It's not only the optics. It's the implications as well. You can always find somewhere to shake your behind. That's the part that's getting me. You can always find somewhere. Now all of a sudden you living your best life. You done got that little GoFundMe money. Because funerals don't take that much money. Folks make a lot of big deal out of that. And it can be a big deal because funerals can cost a couple of $1,000s, and it's a big deal when you don't got it. So I understand that part. But funerals do not cost a whole lot of money, especially when you get however much she got out of a GoFundMe. Now you partying with the GoFundMe money. I'm assuming in the house that was given to you by the city. Where your kids at? Where your other kids at? They took them? Because I'd have took them from you. Where your other kids at? See, the video hit different. If it would have been a video with her in the house with the kids and trying to lift their spirits up and we gonna have a little fun with the kids. See, that would have been wholesome. That actually would have been wholesome. Not you twerking. You twerking in the camera, looking like you trying to get another baby daddy. That don't work. Where them babies at? That's what I want to know. What I want to know is, where are those poor children? Somewhere far away from you, hopefully. Hopefully they are in better condition than you ever had them in, because I'm appalled. And it is just a rash of these hyenas getting caught up. They filthy. They don't care about their children. They cannot stand their children. Now I want to point something out too. The hyena responses. Now, when we look at the comment section here, didn't they give her a house? So she kept her car on. They're saying the death was intentional because she tried to keep the car heated. Everyone doesn't know about carbon monoxide poisoning. So she can't go out because her kids passed away. Coping mechanisms. So they're homeless. Daddy has a gym membership. No questions about why he didn't get them. No accountability for her. How do other kids survive? Okay. Want them to go after the dad. It just means she was using the car for heat. That's all. No accountability for her. No accountability for her. Give me a second. I'm gonna show y'all something. Give me just 2 seconds. Remember her? This one was the other one with the real nasty house. That man that was on the initial news clip, them his kids. Them kids look just like him. Them was his kids, baby. Because they had showed pictures before with him holding them. Oh, them was his kids, baby. Now you remember her, right? The one with the nasty house. And it was a 15-year-old, 12, and like 13, right? Right.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm here, y'all. Excuse me, sir. I'm here. I am here. This is what we going through. Excuse me. Stay with me. This is what we going through.
Now this is them.
This is a house
clearing
that she
out the
kept them
house.
kids at, y'all.
The fact that it looked like, I'm gonna tell you what this looked
And
like.
I gotta clean it.
You know how
Oh God.
is nasty, because this looked like, if you ever watched the show Hoarders, when they clear the hoard before they actually scrub down the place, when they just clear the hoard out, that's what that looked like.
I won't take the stove and the refrigerator out, or
That stove and that refrigerator need to come out.
no, I'm not saying that. Well, y'all can take it out. Y'all want us to take it out.
Where we gonna put it at once we take it out, sir?
Right there, yeah.
Lay it right there?
Yeah. You know those scrappers.
Yeah, but I need somebody to walk me downstairs. You want to? Have you been down there yet?
No, I ain't been down. Come on.
Ooh
Okay.
wee. Just gotta walk through the house and for a video. Yeah,
Give me my map. Where is the map at?
she should get her ass kicked.
Now, what I want to point out is the comments. Now, on the other video, the mother didn't have any accountability. This one, the mother don't have it either. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the oldest was 15, right? It was the child blaming for me. At this age, they start considering hygiene, love, or the want of money will make you figure out a way to get it. Should know phone numbers to get in touch with family, friends, neighbors, but that wasn't done. So is there also a mental illness that the kids have? They weren't toddlers. So what's the disconnect? They didn't go to school, feel like it's more than the mom's fault. Nobody did a welfare check. The blame for the fathers. The problem that I had with the blame for the children is that they were the victims in the situation. And we always like to say what somebody else could have did in another situation. We don't know. You don't know what those children go through or went through prior to all of that. It was 5 years ago that she left him. So he wasn't 15. They wasn't 15 when she left. 9, 10 years old. The oldest when he left. The water's off. All the stuff, all the utilities off. What they supposed to do? No accountability for these females. You'd rather blame the children and the neighbors and the family. Let me tell you something about family. Just because you got brothers and sisters, all families is not super close. And it may not be a falling out, but sometimes you just not that close with your brother or your sister. So you may not have been seeing their kids on regular basis. So it would not have been odd to not see them or their kids. Sometimes for years. Not odd. If you ask them, your kids all right, everything all right? Yeah, it's good. See, you can get away with that. When you got cousins and this and that, and y'all ain't super duper close. All families are not super close just because they exist. Obviously, she was not tight enough with her family members for it to be odd for them not to see her and those children on some basis more regular than years. We got to stop thinking that these families is operating like families all the time. And they don't. And it may not be because the family members are bad or neglectful or anything like that. It's just the way it is. Just because we blood don't mean we tight. Folks has done went off and lived their own life. I didn't like the child blaming, the victim blaming for those children in that grotesque living conditions that they be having their kids in. See, I needed to revisit this because I think I still need to drill down on how these chicks are with these kids in these houses. I still don't think people truly understand the extent of abuse that these children undergo regularly. It's a regular occurrence. These chicks is having children with unstable men. But I'm going to go to a commercial break and we're going to talk about that because I got some things to show you. But after these messages, we'll be right back because I need everyone to go to ashkicking.com and get you some of the best body butter that you have ever actually used in your life. This stuff is smooth. It smells wonderful. It soaks into your skin very well. It's not tacky. It's not greasy. It doesn't leave a film or anything like that. The only thing that you have after using this body butter is smooth skin that looks and feels and smells its absolute best, right? So what you want to do is you want to go to ashkicking.com and the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Go and get you this body butter. If it's going to be your first order, take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Okay. Once again, that link is ashkicking.com and it is pinned to the top of the chat. I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit the like button. Let me get to these super chats. Thank you, Mogul Maze, for your contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lex. So thank you, Crimson, for your content has been very instrumental in learning about my past and present relationships. Thank you, Farrell says she's going to be dancing to Locked Up. Thank you, Tutal said, wow, this is truly frightening. I appreciate you. Thank you, Farrell said we should resurrect Ike Turner for her. Thank you, Rob said, hey, did you hear about the lady that abandoned her kids for 5 years in Detroit living with another dude? That's what we've been talking about. We talked about that before as well. Thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Methyl Nelson said, did you see the video of the mother twerking? We've been covering that for the first half of the show. So I got some other things to show you. They have children with unstable men.
I still can't.
They're having children with unstable men. This one is just a couple of this was couple weeks old. A brief trip to the beauty supply store turned into a tragedy for one mother. On the evening of February the 28th, she left her 9-month-old daughter in the care of the child's father, who is 21, at their home. Upon her return, she was confronted with a scene that would forever change her life. She discovered that both the child and him were lifeless on the couch. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The baby was transported to a local hospital where she was later pronounced dead. And the St. Louis Metropolitan Police are investigating it as a deletion, self-deletion. I don't know. It's like something came over me to turn on my cell phone flashlight. That's when I saw the scene. Something that is burned into my brain. I don't need to close my eyes to see it. It's not something that I can unsee. According to her, he had never exhibited violent behavior. He had never exhibited violent behavior, but had struggled with mental health issues. She emphasized the importance of mental health awareness, especially among men, stating your life is worth living. Please don't ever think that it's the only option. If you cannot advocate for yourself, there's someone near, someone that you trust and love that will advocate for you. Having children with unstable men. Obviously, they were living together. She leaves, comes back, they gone. He done took them both out. The dude was the dad, not some random strange guy. And like I said, from what she said, she said he had never been violent before. Because even if a person is depressed, that don't make them violent. You can have mental health issues and not be violent. I was depressed a good long while. You don't want to be violent. Depression is not a violent. The only violence that when you get into deep depression, the only violence you think about doing is to yourself. Maybe you think about yourself, but you don't think about other people. You don't want to hurt other people. You don't want to hurt other people. So there's a such thing as mental health issues that don't include episodes of violence, and they don't include episodes where you're like spazzing out or don't know what's going on. Different mental illnesses are different, which is what's crazy to me about this story, because you waited until she's not there. It's something going on that we have not. It ain't came out. Because you waited. That the red flag to me is it appears that in order not to get any pushback from her, he waited until she left. And he did it quick too. Because a trip to a beauty supply store don't take that long. So, you know, my mind be going there. Because a trip to the beauty supply store is, let's say she took an hour or two tops. Let's say she was going an hour or two tops. You didn't have to work your way up to that. And the fact that you could commit that, such a heinous thing, in short order, you were thinking about it prior to. So you were like waiting for an opportunity to see. It don't pay for me to think about it. Because he's gone now, so you can't question him about what his intent was or what he was thinking. You can't question him because he's gone too. So we can rule out that she wanted him to do it or anything like that. He did himself too. Like it's something more to that story. Because he ain't have it all. And she knew that because she went right to that. He had been having issues. But there are not a lot of some of the more common mental illnesses that drive you to murder. Do we understand that? The psychosis must be severe and untreated to drive a person to murder. You don't just get there. You don't just get there. That don't just happen. So if you were in that headspace, I'm not willing to dish it off. She might be willing to dish it off for mental illness, but not me. You meant to do it because you did it. You meant to do it because you did it. And you waited until no one was around you to stop you from doing it. And then you couldn't take the fact that you did it So you did yourself too. You didn't want to go to jail. You didn't want to face no worldly consequences for that. You want to be investigated. You just wanted to do it. I'm not going to give no pass to nobody offing no kids. A baby, no less. We talking about a 9-month-old. Take yourself out if you feel that way. You feel a certain kind of way about it. You don't want to. I've never understood not just taking folks with you when you want to take yourself out. I ain't never understood that. If you tired of this world and you want to get up out of here and you trying to punch your own ticket, punch it. What you punching other people's ticket for? What you punch that baby ticket out of here for? You do that for? Why you do that? I do not like that. You want to punch your ticket up out of here? Punch it. Don't be trying to take folk with you. I don't like that. Do that quietly in a corner somewhere. If you felt like today was the day, you should have told her, take this baby with you. Take this baby with you. I don't like traumatizing people. Just like them people that jumps in front of subway trains and stuff like that, trying to end it all. Why would you traumatize that train conductor like that? Why would you do that? Why would you traumatize everybody that's on the platform and everybody that saw you do it? Why would you do that? So now the train conductor got to live the rest of their life knowing that they ran over you. Because you jumped willingly onto the tracks. What them people supposed to do with that? What folks supposed to do with that? I got one more to show you about the kind of trauma. It's like that was an example of having children with these unstable men, these emotional men that are mentally unstable or whatever it is that's going on with them. The person that posted this said this was a throwback to when they were 15.
With his head. He said to me.
This is mama. This is his mother. The woman here is his mother.
Look at what she's doing. I'm not even doing it.
Yes. He stopped the recording. Help! Help!
Not doing anything.
Help!
Please back away from me. Please
Give me my bag.
Please back away from me. Can I just have my stuff? I just want my stuff. You saw what she just did, right?
No, he's hitting me with his hand on
You're
my phone.
choking!
Send the local police! Help!
I'm not even doing anything. Like, I just want my AirPods and I'll leave. Like, she just keeps on taking my stuff and I want it back.
Hitting me with his head! He's hitting me!
She was holding him down and screaming like he was doing something to her. But she was the one doing something to him. This her son. This was a mother and a son. This wasn't no domestic dispute. This wasn't no lover spat. That was his birth mother. That was clowning, acting like he was doing something to her with his back turned, man. You talking about get her the bag. It was his bag, obviously. And he was obviously trying to leave the house at 15. We wonder why these young boys be on the street. We wonder why these young boys run the street. Some of them hard-headed and they got somewhere to go and don't want to be there. I ain't talking about them. What about the young men that's dealing with that at the house? He got to leave. Yeah, but we grown. He 15. He want his AirPods. You understand what I'm saying? That's why he ain't because I thought the same thing. Just leave the AirPods. Then I thought, oh, he 15. He want to listen to his music on his phone. That is probably his only comfort. That's why he don't want to leave the AirPods. We wonder why these young girls and young boys run the street. We wonder why. Because they getting done like this. They are living with these demons. So the young boy, he gonna come out the house. He gonna run the street. Now he may or may not get caught up in criminal activity, or he might be able to dodge that bullet and do some other things. But it'll be hard going. The girl the same way. She got to leave that house. She got to leave. And she don't be having nowhere to go. And usually the way out for a girl is to find some dude to lay up with. And that ain't nothing but a world of trouble. Because she going to get somewhere with a dude to lay up with. He going to put a baby in her. The relationship is not based on nothing. She ain't going to be no more about 15, 16 years old. She trying to run from her hyena demonic mama. And she get out there, she find some dude to pop a baby in and let her lay up. And that's what she going to do. The boy, he might hit the street. He might try to still go to school, but, you know, he trying to hustle something on the side and this, that, and the third. You know, he trying to make it up out of there. Just trying to, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Because these demons is raising them and beating on them and torturing them and psychologically abusing them and physically abusing them and verbally abusing them and emotionally abusing them and using them and doing everything to them kids. They do everything to them kids. Nobody gets out. The boys don't get out. The girls don't get out of it. Everybody got to taste it. Everybody got to taste something with these hyenas. You can't, that's why I say we born in the boneyard. And we just got to, just by the grace of God, got to get out of there some kind of way, somehow. But you always have a scar. You never get out clean. If you're born in the boneyard, you always have a battle wounds that you got. And they can be physical. They are emotional, mental wounds. The scars that you got to work. Now you got to work into your adulthood to try to get over some of that stuff if you can. If you don't get caught in a bunch of foolishness on before you figure out what you got to do. Because you're young, you don't know nothing, you're mad, you're sad, you're upset, you confused. And there's a part of you that's just still young. So you want to do stuff, you want to experiment, now you free. Now you can just go places and stuff that you don't got no discernment or nothing. It don't be all these kids' fault. Every kid just ain't being bad just for no reason. A lot of times there don't be no guidance nowhere. And how you supposed to know how to avoid all that stuff at 14, 15, 16? You only know a little bit. You don't be knowing all that stuff all the time. What did we know at 14 and 15 years old? What do we really know? So that's why a lot of times them girls be 14, 15 with a baby. They don't always just be fast. They be looking for somebody to want them. Because they look for different things. The boys and the girls look for different stuff. The boy, he be wanting somebody to want him too. But he be trying to figure out how he got to hurry up and become a man. And he don't know how to be a man. He don't know. He don't know how to be a man. He don't know what's the steps that he got to do. He got a vague idea. Go get some money. Maybe go get some coochie. He don't know. Sometimes you get a young man, he have a little bit more on his head. Let me keep going to school. Let me keep, I don't want to get too far into trouble. I know I may have to do a little something, but let me try at least. Hey, Uncle Rick, how you doing, sweetheart? Say, hey, Miss Crimson, good evening. Good evening to you too as well. I'm gonna show you one more thing. I think I still got it. I think I still have this one. It was real heartwarming, but it was a minute ago that I saw it. I don't think I have it anymore. And it was more powerful to see it than for me to tell it to you. Yeah, I don't have it. I thought I had it. But what I wanted to show you, I don't have it anymore, was a video. It was a police officer, a black man. But he had been called to a scene that involved his nephew, a young, he didn't look no more about 17. He might have been 17, 18. And it was an older black man. And he was a police officer. Looked like he might have been a sergeant or something, And he was talking to, you couldn't hear what they were saying, but he was talking to him. And he was, getting it in. He was getting at him. How a man talked to a young boy when he trying to correct him. He wasn't, you could tell he wasn't softballing him. He was on his head. He was on his head. You know, and then at the end of that, he grabbed that boy and hugged him. And that boy broke down. He broke all the way down. That boy broke all the way down. He was just you could see it coming out of him. Po baby. Po baby. They don't be wanting to be out there. They just want somebody to care about them for 2 seconds. Whatever his uncle said to him probably changed the whole trajectory of that young man's life. He'll probably go on to be a great man, or if he don't make a mark in history, it probably just turned his mind and said, I can't do it. I cannot do. My uncle done said something to me that, and I got to do better than this. And that is what these hyenas deprive these children of. They deprive them of the men in their life. They deprive them of the men, from their fathers to any uncles and brothers. They deprive these children of male influence, good male influence. You need the father to correct the son and teach him how he gonna be a man. What do it take? From a man's point of view, what do it take to be a man? Because that grown man has been where that young man trying to go. You deprive a girl of her father and a male influence to show her how she's supposed to interact with a man and how a man's supposed to interact with her, so that she don't have a daddy daddy complex. This is what a lot of these girls is working on. They got father daddy issues. They got daddy issues. They got daddy issues. They got father wounds. Because you kept them from their daddy, or you whatever. Or you choose the wrong father. You done laid up with a man that ain't no good. He ain't nothing. You ain't nothing, man. He ain't nothing. Then the child come out crazy. Dr. Umar and the whole saga going on with him. Him and that baby mama, just as toxic as they want it to be. And now that girl done got grown. You can tell that whatever she think about whatever went on, she got it from her mama. And now that's just done blew up. And it looked crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna get on up out of here. I just wanted to talk about the whole mother thing. I'm probably gonna have to every once in a while keep drilling down on that until it is understood what these young folks is going through in some of these households, these so-called households. They don't be what they don't. These women be on here capping, y'all. You gotta know. These women are not, please stop believing everything these hyenas say. Please stop believing everything these hyenas is talking about. These hyenas lie out of both sides of their mouth every time they open their mouth. They are not getting engaged to nobody. They are not almost married to nobody. They are not doing the best that they can with their kids. They are not putting in all this work to go to work and grind and come back and make sure that their kids is good, make sure that this is in order. That they're not doing that. They are not doing that. They're very few of these women are actually buckled down and say, you know what, I really do gotta do what I gotta do for my kids. And they're not like, you know, abusing them or nothing like that. But a lot of these other chicks, it's probably somewhat of a minority, but a big one. If it's a minority of abusers, it's a large minority. It's not a small. Especially in like the hood. So it's a lot that go on. They don't want the men in the home because a lot of more often than not, the men will stop them from doing a lot of this foolishness. The men that don't stop them from doing it, those are the men that they have in the home. The men that's just as crazy as they are and just as sick, they had him in the house. But men that's not on that type of time, and he really will check them, like, you know, what is you doing? You can't talk to my kids like that, but that kind of stuff. Then he can't be there. They takes the kids, they hides from them, they runs with them, they do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna get on up out of here, y'all. Did I get all of the super chats? Did I get everybody? Thank you, Chloe and Chad, for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you again. Pharaoh said deleting babies is unforgivable. It is. And once again, thank you, Uncle Rick, for your contribution as well. I'm gonna get on up out of here, y'all. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.